Hey everybody, it's Debbie from the Inspiration Station. Thank you for joining me once again. Today I have a video of a layout share. It's been a couple of months since I've done one and I have been busy, so I have a bunch to share with you. I hope you enjoy this. The first one is a double page spread that I did for my trip in the spring. I went in the spring to Walt Disney World in Florida, and we stayed at the Polynesian. So it gave me a chance to use some of these Simple Stories cards that I had been collecting. You know, living in the Northeast, we don't have palm trees or anything like that. So this was a perfect chance to use some of these items that I had been collecting, and I really like the way it came out. The background paper on this one is, I believe, from Reminisce, and it just went so well with these cut apart cards from, I believe it was not Let's Wander. I can't think of the name of the collection. Here We Go, maybe? It was one of an older Simple Stories lines. The next one I have is from when we went apple picking this fall. I do have some older layouts coming, but this is actually pretty current. We went in October to the same apple orchard that we go to every year, my friends and I had actually picked up this wood veneer. I picked it up at the Dollar Tree. It came in a pack with about 5 different fall sayings, and I thought, oh, that's perfect for, you know, doing my apple picking page. The papers, this one I know, the red farmhouse wood, or whatever, the side of the barn wood, I think it was called, that's a Reminisce. These papers here, I'm not sure if they were Photoplay or Echo Park. They may have been Echo Park. I know that the embellishments that I used were definitely Echo Park. Some of the apple things were from Photoplay's Orchard, Autumn Orchard, I think it was called. Then the next one, I had actually done this as a challenge for the Load event. The prompt was something that took a lot of planning and maybe didn't turn out the way that it was supposed to. And this was definitely the story behind this. 2 of my friends had planned a trip to Disney. One of them was planning on proposing to the other, and I was in on that. We went down and I was supposed to be FaceTiming with the other girl's parents so that she could see the proposal. And unbeknownst to any of us, the other girl also had a ring and had planned to propose. So it ended up being a double proposal, and it was a lot of fun. We laughed a lot. So I did add my Mickey head in, which I do on most all of my Disney layouts. And this was great because it was a different color palette than the usual black, yellow, and white. Now this one, I do have a process video on. This is from my grandson's 2nd birthday, where I use Doodlebug and Simple Stories products. I think this camera actually came from Kaisercraft, but everything else is from them. And I just loved the bright colors. And I bordered it with black because I thought with his black shirt, it kind of helped bring everything together. It framed it. So that was a lot of fun. Now I'm on to my single page layouts, and I should probably move these out of the way so they don't distract. You know, if you know me, I get easily distracted. So this was from a sketch class that Allison Davis had done on Facebook. It was 1-page layouts using 6x6 papers. I want to say it was in May it started. I didn't have any skunk embellishments. The whole story is how a skunk fell into a pipe in our front yard, and I didn't know what to do. I just saw this white tail flashing in the pipe, and I wasn't about to reach in there and pull him out, but I didn't want the poor guy to die in there either. So I was able to call a rehab person, and she bravely stuck her hand down in that hole and lifted him out. And when she pulled him out, she flipped him over and exclaimed, "It's a boy." So I thought that was just cute, and I had to tell the story. And I had never done photos on an angle like this before, so I really liked the way the sketch did that. I ended up repeating it on another layout a little bit later on, but yeah, so this one was fun and very colorful. This was from another sketch in that class. We were to use these patterns of paper in 1-inch strips. Kind of looks like a quilt pattern. The colors I loved. I did this, both my dad and my youngest son have passed away. And when I saw these two photos side by side, I never realized how much my son resembled my dad until I saw these two photos side by side. So I actually put them together in a frame. But this one is kind of special to me. So here's another one where I did the photos on an angle. It's very similar to the last one. It didn't follow the sketch, but it did take that idea from the sketch, putting everything on a diagonal. And I used a die cut from Elizabeth Craft. I was playing around with some Snapchat filters. Certainly don't need those in large photo sizes, so I printed them at home on my Canon printer and just did my journaling on little strips. These I fussy cut from a Vicky Bouton paper, which I love the paper, but I wouldn't use the whole florals. It was just a little too busy for me, but fussy cutting them out and adding them on worked out really well. This is one of the pictures that will be going in my daughter's wedding album, again from the sketch class. This one we used the 6x6 papers again and cut strips. And this has a matching page that I believe I showed in a previous video, so I didn't pull that out. But this one is Cartabella paper, and I absolutely love this paper. The 6x6 pad is great because you get the smaller scale. The flowers that are on here are actually from Kaisercraft, from one of their older lines, and then I used a doily on here. This one is also from a daughter's wedding. This is using Mosaic Moments, one of their grid papers in mint, and also one of their dies. I absolutely love the Mosaic Moments brand, their whole process, because I do like grid layouts. I like clean and simple and lined up, very linear, but they also have some dies that can give you some great curves and accents. So that one, I think that came out really nice, a way to use all those detail shots that the photographer took, that you don't want to have a whole page of all these pictures when all you really need are the small shots of details. This one I love, primarily because I absolutely love the photo. My son took this photo of me and my grandson at his birthday party, and it was so cute. He just came up next to me and threw his arm around my neck and squeezed me, and it just reminded me of this, the little song, I love you, a bushel and a peck and a hug around the neck, and I happened to find that in one of my paper pads. The paper is Arcadia from Die Cuts with a View, I believe. It's one of those Joann's exclusives, and I fussy cut the flowers out. And this die is again from Mosaic Moments. Mosaic Moments. I always want to say Mosaic Memories, but it's Mosaic Moments. And I really like the way that die highlights a single photo. This page is actually almost an exact copy it's a scrap lift of Christine Myers. She is on the Simple Stories design team, and she had put a page very similar to this up, and I really loved her use of the color blocking on the grid, using the tags. I liked the way that she cut out this out of her 6x8 paper and used black and white photos. So I loved her page, and like I said, this is almost an exact copy. Of course, I use different embellishments, but the layout is pretty much hers. I really enjoyed that one. And then this is when we went up to Maine. We were in Algonquin, Marginal Way. Again, a Mosaic Moments page, a little simpler. I did mosaic cut the photos into 1-inch squares and then used these much larger. These are also mosaic. I did emboss with an embossing folder. I think this might have been a Tim Holtz one, I'm not sure. But I embossed the cardstock pieces in the corner because they just looked too plain in solid cardstock, but I thought they looked great with the embossing. And while working with the same photos, I did another mosaic page. This one, detail shots are in the overlapping circles, and then we have I had a lot of pictures of the ocean and the rocks and things. you know, us our scrapbookers, we get a little carried away sometimes taking photos when we're places because it's just so beautiful. And, you know, you can't possibly use every photo you take, but I do like using them on something like this where I can, you know, see the beauty of it, but it's not 4 or 5 pages of oceans and rocks. So that one I enjoyed. Now this one was also a sketch from Allison Davis's class. I've got to say, I would never have used these colors. This is not my style. If you've been paying attention, you know. I like clear, clean pages, and these colors are just a little bit out of my comfort zone. But I had this ticket from the show, and that's where I drew the color from. That and the drinks. This was at Disney World at Animal Kingdom again. All the little strips came from 6x6 papers. And it was actually a 6x6 pad from Kaiser Craft that the colors just worked so well with against that ticket. The words, the alphabet was from Pink Fresh. And there's my little Mickey head again. The story behind this is quite funny. I didn't mean to steal the ticket. We were having dinner, or having lunch actually, at Tusker's house, and as we were leaving, you know, they have the hostess station standing there by the door. And as a scrapbooker, I tend to collect business cards everywhere I go. You know, you go into a restaurant or something, you take the business card because you never know if you want to use it on a page. So I grabbed this card thinking it was a business card, and after I got out, I looked at it, and it's actually the complimentary ticket to the evening show, which I didn't use. I didn't use it. I didn't mean to take it. I thought it was a business card. It was an honest mistake. But the girls laughed at me. They thought it was pretty funny. We actually had already purchased tickets to that event, so we did go to the event, but I didn't use the ticket. That's why it's still sitting here. But just, yeah, kind of funny. Honest mistake. You know, we all do stupid things sometimes. This one is also for my daughter's wedding. This is her husband and her father-in-law. I really loved these photos, but I was a little taken with the color of their suits. It's a kind of a cobalt blue, and it's very hard to match in scrapbook paper. So I was able to find one piece of paper that kind of matched, but it was just way too blue for me, too much bright color. So I toned it down using a couple of different wood grains. I had several embellishments here. I think those came from Kaiser Craft. This is a die that I picked up, I believe, from Rosie's Studio. And I added, you know, some washi, some gold washi to kind of match the gold in the embellishments, and some peachy colored or pink enamel dots that match their ties. So I thought it came out pretty good. I was a little scared using that color, but it seemed to work well. This one is another one from the wedding. This one, I used a white wood grain paper, and it's really hard to see. I'm not sure if the camera can pick that up at all. The background is a wood grain, but it's really not easy to see. I did fussy cut all of these elements from P13, one of their, I think it was called Tea Party, Nature's Tea Party or Woodland Tea Party. These here, there's a couple of die cuts that I used from Tim Holtz, just to add some greenery to get a little bit more contrast to it. The frames were from that same 6x8 pad from P13, which I used an X-Acto knife to cut around and then put our photos behind it, which worked out really well. And this acetate piece here has been in my stash for probably 10 years or more. It came from See-Through, also known as Little Yellow Bicycle, and they've been out of business for a number of years. But I came across that, and I thought it worked out really well. Now we're coming back to fall. There's my grandson again. I didn't do any journaling on this page because I was not with him on this trip. These are just some pictures that his mom had posted online of his trip to Pumpkin Town. And I had this paper from Reminisce, which is obviously photorealistic. It's very scenic type paper. I have trouble scrapbooking with those type of papers because you don't want to really cover it up, but you know, how else do you use it? So I thought this worked out well. Just putting the photos up here. I used some Cartabella Embellishments chipboard, and I added the little pumpkin patch sign to the barn and a little pumpkin sign down here. Very simple page, but you know, it was cute. He's just such a cutie. I had to get those pictures onto a page. And now for, whoops, maybe I shouldn't show this yet because my daughter hasn't made the announcement, but I don't think any of her friends are watching, and all the family is already aware. She is expecting a baby in the spring. So I have this paper. Was this Reminisce as well? Yes, this is a Reminisce paper as well. And I didn't want to cover up the rainbow, but I thought it was beautiful. And I added these are Sizzix die cuts. Then I have this page here, which these are actually my wedding pictures. It was a challenge on the Load event to scrap about something that was in fashion at one time and isn't anymore. So of course I got married in the mid-'80s, and the Princess Diana fashion of wedding dresses was all the rage at the time. So that was what I scrapped about. And I ended up matting it on this golden white paper just to bring some shine into the page. I thought that was fun. And then my latest page that I've done is my grand dog. He turned 6 last week, and so I used the leftover papers from my grandson's page, this one here, from Doodlebug and Simple Stories, and I made a page for him. It was based on a sketch by Scrapbook Generation, Debbie Sanders, and I really liked the sketch. I thought it was perfect for doing a party page and added a lot of color and things to the page. So that is what I've been working on. I hope you enjoyed it. I will be doing a whole lot more coming up. I hope to make some process videos. It's just not in my schedule at the moment. We have a lot going on. I did take a part-time job, so I have less time now, but I will maybe get back to it, I hope, anyway. So thank you for joining me. Please give me a thumbs up if you thought this was a good video, if you enjoyed it, if you learned anything. I certainly appreciate it. I love getting comments at the bottom. I love reading your comments. And if you would subscribe, that would make me very happy as well. I really appreciate it. So thanks again for joining me, and I look forward to joining you again in the future.